Okay, so I'm making my own video about Crysis. As you know, Crysis Remastered is coming out soon for the PC. I don't know if they're making it for the consoles too, because I didn't pay that much attention. But basically, I just want to talk about Crysis, and I want to talk about why I think Crysis did so well, why it was such a good game, why is it that they're bothering to remaster it, and why is it that they're bothering to bring back Crysis as a remastered game. Alright, so first of all, the thing you have to understand about Crysis is when this game came out, this was the only game that looked exactly like it did and required the kind of hardware that it requires. So, first of all, okay, I don't have any mods. I know a lot of people play with these mods. I don't have any. And you know what? My mouse in this, one of the reasons I think they're remastering is because I think they had some problems with this game in Windows 10. So they're trying to bring it back in order to take advantage of all the new hardware that we have access to. So you'll notice that my mouse isn't completely matching up the way it should be. Alright, let's go to System Settings. And let's take a look at graphics. Now, first of all, this game, now they claim that this game was designed to be scalable up, and they claim that it was designed to be scalable down. Now, the reality of the situation is, this game demands extraordinarily good hardware, and when this game first came out, they claimed that you could play it with a Core 2 Duo, and they claimed that you could play it with less than, what is it, like 4 gigabytes of memory, because you gotta remember, when this game came out, we didn't have DDR4, I think we only had like either DDR2 or DDR3. Nowadays, this computer that I'm running has a Core I, well, I have two computers, one has a Core i7, one has a Core i9, but let's assume that you only had the processor you would have had back in the day. A Core 2 Duo back then would not have been enough to really run this game the way they intended. They wanted you to be able to run this game at like crazy detail. So let's see, I'm going to set to 1920 by 1080, and I'm going to run, what is this, anti-aliasing. In fact, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you just what the, let's see, back. I'm gonna push back. Alright, so, yeah, I'm having a little trouble with my mouse here. Alright, so anyway, the whole point of playing this game was to be able to play this game with every single setting turned up. Now, they claimed that this game is scalable. They claim that when you play this game that you'd be able to run it, as long as you had good hardware, you'd be able to run it in very high mode for every single feature, right? This game had features back then that games still don't have now, and most games don't have it because they're designed so that they can run on the computer and they can run on the console. So as you can see, every single setting I have is turned up to very high. But the only reason why I'm able to achieve that is because I have a 2080 Ti, which you don't necessarily need a 2080 Ti in order to run it that high. The issue is that if you have a more powerful hardware, it'll allow this game to run better without taxing your CPU and your GPU. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at single player mode, and what is this, new game, and I'm going to show you, as there's 4 difficulty layers. Now, I completed this game when I first got it on the hardest level of difficulty, which was Delta, but as you can see, it also tells you how much of the game you've completed by looking at these little bars, difficulty, difficulty. But see, the thing about it is I played it on my laptop, and right now I'm recording on my desktop. So, as you can see, it says normal, right? And then there's easy, there's normal, there's hard, there's delta. Now, one of the things that they added towards the difficulty in this game is that if you play it on the hardest difficulty, the game... Oh yeah, no. Okay, so I see that it carried over my information from my laptop. So as you can see, I beat this game on 100% difficulty. I think I've played it on hard, I've played it 75%, normal, I've only played it 50%, and easy, I only played it, what, 25? Oh, okay, I see what they're talking about. They're talking about how difficult the game is, and they're saying Delta is 100%. But anyway, I beat this game 100% on Delta, so it's like, whatever. So anyway, I'm gonna play it on Delta because when you play it on Delta, what they do is, because you're fighting North Koreans, what they do is they make it so that the people speak North Korean, and this way, unless you speak North Korean, you don't understand what the enemy is saying. So if they say, yeah, I'm gonna throw a grenade or I'm gonna go hunt for this guy, you wouldn't understand what's going on. So, okay, most of the people who even care about this game, they've probably played Far Cry. Far Cry came out with Far Cry 3 on the consoles more recently, and then they had Far Cry 4, Far Cry 5, right? The lead director of this game, Sivat Yerli, that's his name. He said that they wanted to create like a game that was scalable, and that basically was going to be the best game that they'd ever created, right? And they didn't want to make it exactly like Far Cry, so what they did was they introduced aliens to the game later on. So for the first, I'll say, 3/4 of this game, you're fighting North Koreans. And for the last fourth of this game, you're fighting aliens. Now, most people weren't happy with the fact that you're fighting aliens, and they prefer the fact that you're fighting against the North Koreans, which I totally understand, because the North Koreans, or if you're fighting any human enemy, you understand them a lot better than you understand aliens. The North Koreans come to an island in order to take the island over because they find all this alien technology on the island and they're trying to take it over. When America sends this team of special forces soldiers that have these nanosuits that have armor and have advanced powers, like stealth and speed, they come so that they can secure the alien technology and keep the North Koreans from being able to be able to take it for themselves in order to prevent them from becoming like super powerful later on. So ultimately, Crysis is a lot like Far Cry in that you're fighting humans for most of the game, and then later on you start fighting some kind of alien enemy. In the original Crysis, you were fighting regular humans, and then you started fighting mutants, and they slowly come after you. The game brings them out, and they're like, oh yeah, well, you know what, you've been fighting humans, so now we're going to ramp up the difficulty and you're fighting aliens. I always considered that similar to how Halo was. In Halo, you were fighting aliens for the majority of the game, but later on in the game, they changed it to fighting mutated aliens called the Flood. And the mutated aliens have a totally different attack pattern. They have different weapons, and they also have their own different AI, which allows them to attack you in a different manner. The original Halo had pretty good artificial intelligence. The enemies weren't stupid. They didn't rush right after you all the time because the enemies didn't want to get themselves killed. But in the game Half-Life, you see really, really good artificial intelligence where the enemies are smart enough to understand how to flank you, how to attack you, and they didn't allow themselves easily to be cornered, and they also didn't like to rush you and get shot down by bullets. So the best artificial intelligence I've really ever seen was in the game Half-Life. Now, again, the reason why Crysis is so good is because this game, a lot of the features of this game, most games just couldn't possibly have it because it demanded so much technology that most people couldn't even afford it. So if you were to run this game and make it look like crap, yeah, you could run it, but you just wouldn't have all the pretty effects. It wasn't until you got these games on the consoles where everybody really had access to.
You still with us?
So as you can see, people, their face technology for 2007
Intel reports a significant military presence on the island.
Like way back
we have the element of surprise, so let's use it.
So as you can see,
North
the game
Koreans
introduces you
know
to
we're
your
here.
friends,
I won't
to
even
the
know
people
what
you're
hits
fighting
them.
with.
Can it,
Introduce you
Psycho?
by showing
Pay
you,
attention.
okay, these
This
are the
is a
weapons
covert
you got.
operation.
These are the suits
Our
that you're
job
going
is
to be
locate
using.
and evacuate.
Now, what's interesting
We're not
about
at
this
war.
game
Not
is
yet.
back in these
Well,
days, in 2007,
even
and
know
I've been
these people are
playing
still alive.
PC shooters since
That's what we're here to find
1995.
out. We
Like
lost
Quake,
contact
Quake
with Dr.
2.
Rosenthal a week
Quake
ago
2
when the Korean military
first
locked
game
down the island.
Quake came out
2
slightly
days
before
ago,
that,
we
but I
picked
didn't
up a
have
distress
a
signal from the team's research vessel.
Quake 2 required
Someone down there
a
wants to
pretty
be found.
okay
Raptor
PC
team, we're
to use
beginning
back then.
approach.
You didn't have to have an
Stand by for
accelerator
green.
card.
All right,
But
you're up.
if you
Pass
had
on.
one, it made the game look better. You could play it in software mode, it looked like crap. So even back then, back in 1996, 1997, it's like being able to play a game and scale it up was a big deal. This game was like king of all scalable games when it came out. And now it's sad because now we have bullshit that looks like Fortnite.
See you guys at the LZ.
Back then, games really didn't hold your hand. So when you would play a game like this, you had access to a lot of these different features. Like from the very beginning of the game, you have access to the strength mode, you have access to cloaking yourself to turn invisible, you have access to speed mode to make yourself move faster, you have access to shield mode to make it so that bullets can't penetrate you well enough or it allows you a better chance of winning. But the game really doesn't tell you exactly how to go about doing just about anything. The game wants you to figure it out for yourself. So it's all trial and error.
My damn shoot is gone!
Crysis
no man,
2,
no reserve.
the game starts out holding your hand and forcing you to stick to preset movies as how you're going to be playing the game, right?
I'm okay.
And some people
What the hell
who are
was
console players, they appreciate that. PC gamers don't really appreciate that. But as you can see already, this is what this game looks like scaled way up. So even now, water effects don't look as good as they look on this game. So this is what the beach looks like. It's dark, right? So because it's dark, you really can't see all of these elements of the gameplay until you start moving on. But the game looks incredible, and it starts to look even better. One of the other things is interactivity. So they're trying to show me that I have access to my suit. They're trying to show me all the things that I can do. As you can see, this game was one of the first games that allowed you to change all of your weapon options on the fly. Most games of the time would have said, oh yeah, you know what, you have to buy weapons, or you have to earn options on your weapons. This game puts you in, allowing you to do just about anything you want to do. Now you can pick up different objects, like this little turtle right here, and I can throw him. Now I think he's still alive. Maybe he is, maybe he's not. I think when you pick up anything and throw it, it kills him. Yeah. And that right there, when I just shot the turtle, that right there brings me to one of the problems that I always had with this game. I used to have a game called Soldier of Fortune, which was extremely bloody and gory and violent. And this game right here, despite all its high-tech abilities, like right here, if you want to jump up, like for instance, if you want to run up to something, you could hit speed mode and you can run around, you can be really fast. And as you notice, there's like a blue indicator in the corner that tells you how much power your suit has. And if I want to run, I can run really, really fast, which, you know, the suit allows you to do. Or if I want to jump, normally jumping is only about that high, but if I want to jump on top of this, I have to turn on strength mode in order to jump up. So that was one of the things about this game. This game allowed you to do strength mode, it allowed you to cloak yourself, and what they wanted you to understand was that by using the suit, you can be a more lethal soldier, and you can do things that normally you wouldn't be able to do. This game, in my opinion, had the best power management system. They brought out Crysis 2 later, but I always liked this game for power management a lot better. But as you can see, I have no time limitations. I have no real major objectives. Right now, I'm just allowed to do basically whatever I want to do. Most of these new games, they don't allow you to do whatever you want to do, and that's one of the problems. But Far Cry, one of the things about Far Cry games always... Look at him. I'm going to grab him. Can I grab him? Oh, I holstered my weapon. Let's see if I can grab him. Can I grab him? Oh, there he is. Die, crab. Let's see, can I pick him up? Can't correct him. But as you can see, this game, one of the things that they do with this game is they make this game a living, breathing island. So everything you'd expect to see on an island, they want you to see here. And they make the game as interactive as possible. Look at this. Something here. You can pick up just about everything. anything that's shorter than you are, you can pretty much pick it up. So now I'm getting to the point where I'm finding North Koreans. So as you can say, they give you some hints, like they say, okay, you can attach a silencer to make it easier to kill people.
Enemy contact up ahead.
So as you can see, there's a North Korean soldier right there. And they give you your hints very subtly. They don't really force you to do things their way. They want you to learn the game through trial and error. So as you can see, I'm cloaked. He can't see me. What I'm going to do is put one in his head. And then I'm going to duck. And I'm going to recharge my power. Managing your power is the whole point of learning how to play this game. Like, as you can see, these shadows. One of the interesting things about technology now is new technology coming from NVIDIA is called ray tracing, where they want you to have shadows that are more realistic, and they also want you to have reflections that are more realistic. This game, when it came out, had all of that, and now they're trying to sell you this new technology as if like games before didn't have that stuff. They did have it. It's just that it used a lot of computing power to run these things. So look at this North Korean. He's going to get it. There's nothing he can do. Now, one of the things about the suit is if you shoot while you're cloaked, it will break your cloak, just like the Predator. So what I want to do is I want to decloak first and then shoot. Now, this guy knows there's something there, but he doesn't know that I'm here because he can't see me. So what I can do is shoot him and then the next guy. You know? So then I can raid this guy. I can take his gun. And once I take his gun, they wanted everything to be like a total interactive environment. So I can take this guy's gun. I can throw a silencer on his rifle. There's a tactical attachment which allows you to stun people. And there's also a flashlight for his rifle if I want to use it. I'm going to keep it with no flashlight. You know, as far as I know, the artificial intelligence doesn't recognize if you have a flashlight on when you're cloaked. And you take their weapons in order for you to get more ammo. But the detail that you can see in this game is really, really good detail. But what kills me is the fact that when you're shooting people, you're not able to blow parts of them off, or you're not able to amputate body parts like you could in the game Soldier of Fortune. Like in Soldier of Fortune, I could tear this guy apart. And not only that, once a guy is down, you can't even push the use button. You can't pick the guy up. So when they're talking about remastering Crysis, my hope is that they allow you to do all of the things that you couldn't do in this game. Because as far as I'm concerned, gore rendering, like some people would say, it causes excessive violence and it's unnecessary. But I don't believe that. I think gore rendering is necessary in order to make the game look as real as possible. So holding X to release throws, right? So I could... But I have to say, this game had excellent reflection. This game had excellent interactivity. This game had excellent lighting effects. And this game basically had it all. In fact, games really still do not look as good as this game does. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rush us over to the part where we meet up with our team, so that we can go through at least the first portion of this level. Because basically, this entire game plays exactly like the beginning of this level. You hunt people through a jungle, and as you do, you start to realize that there's aliens around, and then later on you start hunting the aliens, but the game opens up to the point where the aliens basically know where you are at any given time. So when you're fighting them, you don't have the same level of cover, and you don't have the same level of ability to choose stealth over direct fighting as you would in the beginning of the game. In the beginning of the game, you're attacking North Koreans and they don't know what's going on because you're able to kill them so easily. You know, but as you can see, the game graphics are absolutely incredible.
No man, Chester, get to
now,
him now. Go!
I played this game originally for the Xbox, but the Xbox had a scaled down version of this game. But as you see, like with this dense foliage and trees and everything, this looks like a damn real jungle. But the Xbox couldn't they couldn't render every single thing that the computer could render because it just didn't have the power. The PlayStation 3 didn't have that level of power at that time either. I'm pretty sure now with the new Xbox One X and with the PlayStation 4 Pro, oh yeah, you could definitely render this game now. But you think about it, this game is a 2007 game. And it took years before we had the ability to do this on the console. Years. When this game came out, and even when this game was ported, they still couldn't get 100% of the detail in this game. Furthermore, if you're playing with a computer and you have access to a 4K monitor, this game can scale all the way up to that 4K. And some people have videos where they scale it way up to 8K, and some people even have videos where they can scale it all the way up to 16K. But the problem is, it's not designed for that. So that means that they actually aren't getting the quality that they're really trying to get. They're just scaling it up so that they can play it on multiple monitors linked together in the 16K or 8K format. Someday we will have affordable 4K gaming monitors. Obviously it's coming, because right now if you tried to get a monitor the size of my monitor that was 4K, you're going to spend at least $2,200. My monitor was about $1,000. It's a 34-inch Alienware gaming monitor. If you go buy one right now, it will be about $900. If you probably get it on sale, it might be less than that. And it's going to be 34 inches, and it'll have access to 1440p gaming. That's not 4K. 4K is when you have 2160 and better. Most 34-inch curved game monitors, they're not 4K, but if you were to spend the money, you're going to pay $2,000. And it makes no sense, because to tell you the truth, the game is more about the gameplay than it's about the graphics. Crysis' problem was that Crysis wanted to put together a game that was basically a technology demonstrator that was more about graphics than it was about gameplay. And that's not to say that the gameplay in this game is bad. The gameplay in this game is actually extraordinarily good. Because as you can see, you have so many possible things that you can do. And there's a North Korean right there. Because here at night, they use their flashlights very liberally. Which is giving away their... totally gives away their position. You know, all they basically give you with the Delta level difficulty is radar. You're allowed to hear the North Koreans, as you can hear them. But one of the things that's interesting about this game is if I don't want to fight these people, I can actually walk right past them and ignore them. But I'm not going to do that. I like... Oh, shit! This motherfucker! Son of a bitch! I don't... Oh, you know what? I was walking around in shield mode, so the guy saw me almost immediately. And if I had been walking around in cloak mode, he wouldn't have seen me. So anyway, watch this again. We're gonna do it again. Okay, so you got my weapon. Weapon's got a silencer. I'm gonna throw on my cloak. And when you have your cloak, he can't see you. But these guys can see you from any distance. It's incredible. Blow this guy's head right off. But I'm disappointed that there's no gore. Die, you bastard! You fucking cocksucking North Korean. And the beautiful thing, let me say this. There's a level of racism in these games. Now, I don't care what anybody says about, oh, you shouldn't say that, because I know Fox News and these stupid conservative talk bullshit channels have taught people to try to reflexively say there's no such thing as racism. But that's not true. There's a level of racism in this game where you're fighting against an enemy that you're trained to hate. We're trained to hate North Koreans. We're trained to hate Russians. What's funny is that, yeah, people try to hide behind nationality, and they try, oh yeah, Russians are white and Caucasian. But you know that the same saying doesn't go for North Koreans, because North Koreans are most obviously Asian people. The first thing somebody would say is they'd start using terms just like my grandfather used when he was in the Marines and he was fighting in the North Korea, when he was in the war, the Korean War. They used to call North Korean people gooks, and the sad thing about it is that continues today, and they still say the same thing, whether you're North Korean or South Korean. There is a level of racism that goes with nationality, and it's basically an us versus them mentality. In this game, I play as a U.S. Special Forces soldier who's fighting against Asians.
Use your binocs to tag
Right
people
now,
in line.
there's nothing to stop somebody from modding this game, and they could make it Chinese versus North Koreans, or they could make it US versus China. And the thing about it is, these people have an East Asian look to them, and I can basically say that they're Japanese, I can say that they're North Korean, I can say that they're Chinese. And the sad thing is, there is a level of racism that is in these games. South Korean people, and you know that I spend a lot of time in Asia. I made a video in South Korea. I love South Korea. I love the South Korean people. But I have to be able to speak out when I say that there's a level of racism in these games. I just feel that there's a level of racism that's disguised as nationalism in these games. That's what I feel. Now, you can argue with me. I'm not arguing. I'm saying that's what it is. But the whole point of this game was to basically put you up against a real enemy. Soldier of Fortune got accused of racism because you were a white man who goes to different countries, Japan, Africa, you go to South African, you go to South American countries, you go to Europe, and you're killing a bunch of people who aren't white. And at a point, you are killing white supremacists, so that means that in the game's world, racism does exist. So the thing about it is, racism can be in a video game just as sexism can be in a video game. This game, once you... Oh shit, I gotta turn on this goddamn cloak. If you don't turn on that cloak, that guy will see you, and then you're in trouble. You're in a firefight right here. Look at this guy. But I have to say, the game's graphics are really good, and I like that when I fight people, I want them to look like people. I don't want to fight space aliens. I want my humans to look like humans. And this guy is obviously human. Watch this, Pop! Night! Fucking cock. I want my people to look like
Nomad,
real
we're
people.
blind here until you find that jammer. Shit, they've called in reinforcements. Enemy units headed your way.
Okay. When you kill somebody, they punish you by calling in... Oh, shit. They punish you by calling in reinforcements as quickly as they can. And the reinforcements can be easily beaten. I don't remember how to turn on the goddamn fucking... Because right now I'm shooting one shot at a time. So I'm gonna switch over to this weapon because somehow I accidentally changed my... Oh, if you push X, it allows you to change between burst fire and single fire. I haven't played this game in a little while. But these guys right now, they start searching for you. And as they're searching for you, they call it gunboats, like that gunboat. And the gunboat is coming after you. If I want, I can kill that guy and I can take his boat. But the problem is, right now, there's so many guys around me that if I come out from hiding, I will get shot down almost instantly because I'm in the highest difficulty. So by playing a difficult difficulty, it forces you to be methodical, it forces you to be careful. But as you can see, you look at the graphics in this game. That's what this game is all about. This game is about extreme graphics and foliage. Alright. So this game right here, again, it's about graphics, and it's about you decide how do you want to fight these people. Do you want to fight them by getting that truck, taking that truck's machine gun, and using the truck's machine gun to gun everybody down? Do you want to... Look at that guy. He could see me from all the way over there if I'm not careful. Uh-oh. So, I have to decide how do I want to fight these people. And if I get real close to him, I can take him out without him seeing. And that's the whole point. To be as methodical. I have to be methodical. And that's the reason why this game was so good and why this game was so exciting. You have to... Oh shit. You have to be methodical when you're fighting these guys. Because if they see you, they can easily kill you. So you have to take your chances. You can enter any vehicle, but I'm not going to do that right now because if I do, the gunboat will be able to shoot me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cloak. I'm going to get over here. I'm going to destroy this radar jammer. because that's what the side mission. As you can see in my HUD, there's a yellow beacon, and that yellow beacon is telling me that there's a side mission. The side mission was to get to this truck and to deactivate this jammer. Once you deactivate the jammer, well, I gotta push use. Once you deactivate the jammer, then the North Koreans can't jam your radar anymore. So every single mission has a little side mission in it, and that was this mission's side mission, to turn off that radar jammer. Now, as you can see, the boat has left, and if I had really wanted to, I could have fought these guys by shooting these barrels right here, and if I had shot the barrel, it would have blown up, and I could have blown up the guy who was standing on the dock. But I didn't choose to do any of that. So the whole point of this game, again, every single mission basically plays exactly like the mission that I just played right now. The point of this game is for you to enjoy the beautiful graphics. Now, I can, as most games now allow you to, you know, drive a vehicle. So I can choose in this vehicle where I want or how I want to drive. And one thing I noticed is if you want to play it using the controller, you can. But if you don't want to use the controller, you can also, let's see, how do I change seats? It says Y button to change seats, but that's not true. I forget, how do I change seats? So, okay, I can change to my controller right now, and if I do that, I'll use the actual controller. And when I'm using the controller, they, as far as I know, they allow you to cloak, but you have to be very careful, because if you get shot up, your vehicle could take damage. And if your vehicle takes that damage, your vehicle will get blown up. So you can change the Y button, and you can decide where you want to sit, and then when you do that, that allows you to drive the vehicle. There are vehicles to drive, like there's a boat, there's a truck, but the thing about it is you're doing all of that at your own peril. So the game's just saying, the game looks absolutely perfect. I mean, this was no game really even still looks as good as this. I'll run you over. Alright, so the thing about it is, I know I'm about to get killed because there's a truck that's going to shoot me up. But the whole point of this game is you do whatever you want to do, and you play the game however you feel like playing. Oh shit. Now, I'm going to be engaged in a shooting war, and I'm not going to win because I don't play with my controller much. The controllers actually, in the Crysis 2, they fixed this game so that you can play with your controller, and they made it easier to play with your controller. Oh shit.
Nomad, find cover! Your suit's taking damage!
It's telling me to find cover. So, in this game, let me see if I can get away. Oh shit, I don't have any energy. So yep. As soon as you run out of energy and you run out of health, you're getting killed. It's just that simple. So, the whole point is you have to be more careful when you're playing the game. It's, instead of you taking vehicles around, vehicles are really just so that you can get around faster. What you don't want to do is you really, in most cases, you don't want to drive vehicles because the vehicles give away your position a little too easy. It's better for you to play on foot and use the speed run to allow you to move as fast as the vehicle would have allowed you to move. So if you play this game your way, let's say you're playing on easy, maybe it's easier for you to use the vehicle to cover a lot of distance. That's up to you. But when you're playing against these guys, they can shoot you and kill you so quickly on the higher difficulties that a lot of times it makes more sense for you to stalk them on foot because they can't easily react as quickly as they normally could. And by the way, these guys are encased in armor. So when you start shooting these guys, a lot of times, if you thought that they were going to go down easy, they're not. These guys are literally encased in armor. So shooting them 3 or 4 times does not kill them right away. But again, as good as this game looks, it could have looked better if there was gore rendering. Like when I shoot this guy, I should be able to blow chunks out of his face. I should be able to reduce him to a puddle of goo. But this game, they never wanted that in this game, and it's sad because that would have helped them show off their violence, and that would have helped them show off their effects a lot better. And you got to remember, this game was made before Electronic Arts took over the licensing for it. So Electronic Arts has done everything they can to remove the racism and to remove violence out of their games to the point where there's blood and gore. They've done every single thing they can, and I don't appreciate it. I wanted the blood and violence. I want that in the game because it makes the game more realistic. And I'm very disappointed that they've done that. The more blood and the more gore, the more realistic the game looks. And that's just a simple fact. So if they remaster this game and there's blood and gore in it, I'm definitely going to buy it. But if they don't put blood and gore in it, I'm not going to buy it. I'm just going to stick with the original. So there's a North Korean over here, there's a couple of guys, and there's a truck. No,
Nomad, find cover! Your suit's taking damage!
I'm very disappointed in the fact that there's not enough blood and gore. So what I gotta do is turn on my shield. They always try to go to where they think you were last. So you can see them. You can see them on the, Basically with this game, if you're not taking headshots, you're getting killed. Especially on Delta. On Delta difficulty. But you can breeze through this game by basically slowly stalking everybody. Look at this. The AI knew to come around back and to try to outflank me. So what I had to do is I had to adapt to that by killing him before he could get me. And as you'll also notice, the rocks that you can hide behind are less plentiful. Look at that face. When I kill enemies, I'm looking for face expressions, I'm looking for gore effects, and if you don't have that, then I'm sorry, your game is just not that good. And I really think that that's part of the gameplay. That's a necessary part of the gameplay. What I hate is these new games like Call of Duty and all of these games that allow people to get killed and to jump right back into a match. If you get killed, it's supposed to give you pause because in real life, you don't get to jump right back into a match. You're dead. And if you're dead, it's like you're not coming right back. I can throw a pistol silencer, and I can put a laser pointer. And this, again, this game had fabulous graphics. But the whole point of this game is to be methodical and to play it the way you want to play it. This is your personal war against the North Koreans. That's what this is about. When it changes to the aliens, people get less interested, and the gameplay, it kind of suffers for that because it's not as fun. It's more fun to outsmart a human enemy, in my opinion. Let's see if I can cloak and take a headshot on this truck. Oh, he's too far. Gotta get closer. But that's the whole point. Every single match, every single round is exactly... Yep, gotta be careful. And the interesting thing is, the enemy intelligence is not smart enough to be able to come after me with the truck. Yep, got him. The enemy AI is not intelligent enough to be able to drive that truck closer to me in order to attack me. Where's that boat? You see that boat? Now, if I get into this, truck, enter vehicle, why? Yeah, I have to say, the fucking, what is it? The angles. Oh shit. Yep, I'm getting killed. And it's funny because when I got out of the truck, they put me right on the side that was in the range of fire, allowed me to get killed right away. But okay. So anyway, when you go through these games and you hit every single save point, it starts you right off where you were before. So basically, you can beat the game if you keep playing it, or you can even turn down the difficulty and you can make the game easier. But you get the point. I mean, the game looks really good, and it's pretty much a fun game to play, but only when you're playing the game on your own terms. When the games hold your hand, it's not as fun because now you have to play the way the game wants you to play it. And that makes the game less fun. Look at that, I'm shooting down trees. Which is another feature of this game. This game, every single thing is basically destructible. Like if I want to shoot this tree down, I can shoot it down at just about any point I choose to shoot it. And I can crack that tree and shoot it. If I want to shoot it here, I can crack it and shoot it. Most games do not have this level of interactivity. Most games, they just don't have it. Furthermore, these trees can do damage to you. Like if I was standing underneath the branch and it fell down, or like if a helicopter crashes on me, that could actually kill me. Let me see, maybe this can kill me. Yeah, things can actually kill you if you're not careful. Yeah, it can do damage and it can hurt me. Certain things are heavy enough to actually fall and kill you. The suit protects you from most of that. Is there anybody else? But that's the whole point of this game. The game is beautiful. I think the game is a whole lot of fun. And basically, when this game is remastered, I'm going to take a look and see if it's worth buying. Maybe to see if it's optimized for modern hardware like I've got. Because you got to remember, when this game came out, computer hardware was changing very, very quickly. Because part of it was because games like this were demanding that people upgrade regularly. So when you'd buy a video card, you'd have to buy a new video card like almost year over year. And that's ridiculous. Nobody wants to spend that kind of money. Yeah, so from this distance, obviously, it's very difficult to shoot this guy unless you got a sniper rifle. You know, but this game had a very interesting approach to difficulty by making these people more and more Korean. And by making it so that you had to really think when you attacked them, because they weren't fucking around. From the very beginning of the game all the way to the end of the game, these guys are not fucking around. They can easily kill you if you're not careful. But the whole game is exactly like this. You're walking around admiring the beauty of the effects. No game looks like this to this day. No game looks exactly like this, because if you analyze them closer and closer, Call of Duty's levels are all static. When you shoot things, they don't move. They're photorealistic, but the thing about it is they're static. This game, everything is basically dynamic. The lighting is dynamic. The oh shit! You see, look at this guy. This guy saw me almost immediately. The guy saw me. They don't fuck around either. It's very difficult to kill these guys unless you have a plan. If you have a machine gun, it's kind of easy. If you have a rocket launcher, it's a little bit easier. But these guys do not fuck around. When they start shooting at you, for the most part, they kill you. Now, I personally find this game easier to play with a controller. The problem is, Crysis 1 was never modified for the controller to make it easier to use with a game controller. This game was really designed so that you have to use the scroll wheel for all of your options. And this game was designed specifically with a mouse and keyboard in mind. It was not designed so that you could use your gamepad. The newer games, Crysis 2, Crysis 3, were designed with the gamepad in mind. But, I mean, I always love this game. This game is a technology demonstrator. Whenever you buy a new computer, this game is a great way to check and see how good your new computer is. Look at that. This game is really good to see how well your new computer handles. Because most games are scaled down to accommodate for consoles now. And this game was always designed with the computer audience in mind. And it's a very good technology demonstrator. And there's a lot I can say about this game. There's a lot I can say about this game. Oh shit, I got that guy. You know, but this game is a really good technology demonstrator. Oh shit! Oh, this motherfucker threw a grenade at me, son of a bitch! Now, most games, you don't even get to see the grenade when they throw. Look at that. When they throw a grenade, most games, you don't get to see the grenade. You get an indicator, and that's about it. This guy's gonna keep spamming grenades. You know, if it wasn't for my suit, I'd be dead already. But as you can see, another interesting thing about this game is the whole game is about the nanosuit. The whole game is about you using a suit to kill North Koreans. That's what this game is supposed to be about. Unfortunately, I'm going to show you, with the next game, Crysis 2, they made the game less about the suit and more about alien invasion, using the suit in order to turn you into an alien or something. Like, the game story made no sense. This game was so much better when the game was just about you using this advanced technology in order to kill North Koreans. That's when the game is at its best. And that's all this game is really about. It's a technology demonstrator about you using a special superpowered suit in order to kill North Koreans. That's what the game's about. So I'm going to stop playing right now, and I'm going to switch over to Crysis 2 and show you why that game sucked.